There is a substantial risk of loss associated with trading forex, binary options, stocks, or equities, collectively, asset classes. Only risk capital should be used for trading. Trading in any asset classes is not appropriate for everyone. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. No representation is being made that investors will make profits, or will not sustain losses. Before trading in any asset classes, investors should consult with their professional broker, financial advisor, or financial consultant to determine whether trading asset classes is appropriate. Investors who trade in any asset classes should only do so if the capital used for this purpose represents funds that an investor can afford to lose without adversely impacting the investor's lifestyle. No trading strategy or methodology is without risk of loss. No trading strategy is risk-free, and no trading strategy can guarantee profits or freedom from losses. Investors risk losing the cost to execute any transaction, including associated commissions or fees. You should carefully consider whether trading in any asset class is appropriate for you in light of your investment experience and financial resources. Any trading decisions you make are solely your responsibility and at your own risk. None of the statements or materials in the Auvoria Prime chat rooms constitute a solicitation or recommendation to buy or sell.
Looking at the FX books here for the week and talking about what we're noticing, what we're seeing here among these results. So we're just going to take a look and talk about the MyFX books and what we have going on. I'm just going to make this a little bigger for us all. There we go. So let's get right into it. So taking a look and understanding the FX books, this is our one pair data that we go through where we judge which pairs are best performers through time, what pairs are going to have the best result. And we can see that USD CAD is continuing to still be our winning stronghold. We can see GBP AUD has taken some losses last week, especially, or the last 2 weeks. GBP pairs had some crazy incidents. There was major movements in the market. And last call, I believe I mentioned to people that we're going to start moving towards using equity protection more with GearBox. The reason for this is the strategy is rock solid, but the market conditions and the time we're living in right now is extremely volatile, and there are unexpected movements in the market, things that software sometimes just can't predict, such as Great British Pound US dollar going to all-time lows. We saw that. And if we didn't see that, let's just talk about that. Let's talk about, why times like these require some sort of equity protector, right, in the market that we are currently in. So I'm just going to go ahead and we are going to go to Great British Pound US dollar, and let's just take a look. I want to show you guys real quick what we're talking about, what kind of went on in the market. So if we zoom out, okay, and take a large look at the market, all right, we're going to go back to 2014 here, all right, to now. And you can see this spike down here. I mean, if we even, let's just draw a horizontal line there. And if we go back in time, you can see that that line has never even touched the market since we have data back here to 1986. This blue horizontal line right here has never happened until now. So we're talking about all-time lows. We're talking about going back to 1987, and this has not happened since 1987. And this is what caused what we're noticing here as, we go to GBP USD. This account had been crushing it for 2 years. Never had even had a high drawdown. And all of a sudden, the account's down. What happened? It was up 135% and then lost the whole account almost. Well, when we talk about what happened, the market, it went through the floor. We had never even had a 15% drawdown up until this week period of September 21st on where these events occurred. So what this tells you is we are in a highly volatile time where things are getting crazy in the markets, where it would be wise to use some form of equity protection, a maximum equity protection hit, where you're like, you know what, if something goes crazy, I'm just going to close the trades and I'm going to live to see another day. So one thing we are working on is a per pair equity protector rather than a global equity protector. Right now we have a global equity protector. It's based on your whole account, but we're thinking it'd be better to make it per pair. So you can set your risk per pair That way, if you see a pair going sideways, you can go in and adjust it and say, if this pair gets in 10% drawdown, just close it out. Rather than taking the 30% hit on the whole account, if you notice the other pairs maybe are in better condition and it's just one pair that's being troublesome, why close the other pairs? Just close the one that's causing you trouble. So that's something we're working on, especially with GearBox Pro, with max level closeout. There's a lot of things we're working on, and we're very excited about, but we would recommend and educate on using some form of equity protector moving forward, just because the market's doing crazy things. As we know, we don't trade many of these pairs that are red. These are pairs that have been listed as worst performers. JPY pairs, worst performers. AUD-NZD, a worst performer. GBP CAD was not a worst performer, but it is a worst performer now. Same with GBP USD. The market just went crazy on those. NZD CAD, Euro NZD, Euro CHF. CHF pairs, definitely worst performers. The pairs that are more ideal are here, and even some of these JPY pairs we won't run. Like, we're not going to run NZD JPY. We're not going to run CAD CHF. But we are going to run some of these other ones here. Euro USD, GBP AUD, AUD USD, GBP NZD. You know, we're going to run the pairs that perform the best. USD CHF, even though it's a CHF pair, you know, again, you can kind of decide what pairs you want to run and choose your experience. And you obviously have this data to justify. Now, many of these pairs crushed it for 2 years straight and never had a problem up until these market conditions. So maybe we shouldn't say GBP USD is a worst performer, because it wasn't. It had one bad incident, and the truth is that doesn't make it a worst performer. It means that we need to learn how to mitigate the markets better in times like this, which is where I'm telling you that a harder equity protector would have done the trick. Of course, I don't use those on these data accounts because that would defeat my data. My goal is to get raw data to continue to optimize our strategies on GearBox around all of the majors and the minors to have a high performance no matter what. But would I recommend for risk mitigation on your personal account some form of equity protection? Yes, because again, these are data accounts. The point of data accounts is to let them go without any risk intervention or mitigation to see exactly how the product performs and how we can enhance it around these scenarios. So that's number one. And talking about GearBox and what's to come with GearBox Pro. GearBox Pro is literally right around the corner. We're very excited. We're so excited about it. We've done some more bug testing. We've updated the file a few times, and we're very excited to get it out into your guys' hands. So with that being said, this is most of the updates I have around GearBox right now. If anybody has any questions, let's see. Last week and just now I heard claims about USD CAD being a top performer pair. I don't understand how this is possible, as I've had 4 stop losses last week. Entry starting 16th of August, stop losses September 21st, 26th. Yeah, again, and you know, that's the great thing about GearBox is, you know, it can get in different trends. You could be stuck in a trend that I'm not stuck in. Again, I've had a 36% max drawdown here. Now, don't get me wrong, we've taken some losses before, but overall it's performed incredibly on this account. So everybody's going to be a little bit different in their performance. Right now, as I mentioned, the market is crazy volatile. If you get stuck in the opposite side of a trend, you might hit some stop losses. That's the great thing about stop losses. When they get hit, you can recover. But again, you just got to be prepared based around the market conditions. And sometimes a little manual intervention might be needed if we get into crazy markets like we had, you know, September 21st through the 28th, which is what you're talking about. I mean, if you look at some of these other pairs, they also took nosedives. Why? They got stuck in the wrong side of a trend, and the market's just been gapping. It's been doing crazy things. AUD USD as well has stayed a strong performer. So, you know, again, everybody's data could be a little bit different as well, based on, you know, when you got into the market, when you turned it on, what trends you got into. So, you know, I run these accounts to help me optimize all pairs and data constantly. But again, somebody can be having a different experience. There's people that had GBP AUD that took hits prior to me taking hits here in September. There are people that took hits on this a few months ago. They were on the wrong side of a trend that I wasn't on. So again, it can be very different. Not everybody's GearBox is in communication. Everybody's GearBox is in different trades. And the reason for this is as well so that you don't experience a market maker incident. We're not all taking the same centralized trade. Sometimes that's a bad thing. Sometimes it's a good thing. It depends on what kind of strategy you want to deploy. For me, I know that we're never going to get hunted by a market maker because we're all in different trades with different entries, different stop losses. We're not taking the same trades. We're also not all competing for liquidity. Whereas if we were all taking the same exact trade, sometimes you start competing for liquidity as well, which is a common problem in scaling. But with that being said, I believe that our additions to GearBox and GearBox Pro with the trailing stop losses and many of the other new risk mitigation features are going to massively enhance this product, its performance. We currently have been testing it, and it's been phenomenal, the tests that have been going on. So we're very, very excited to get this out. We're going to start sharing a lot of data, even on multi-million-dollar accounts that are going to be running GearBox Pro very soon, so that you guys can get that confidence and see it work firsthand. But with that being said, stay tuned, because there's a lot of excitement for October to come with GearBox, and I can't wait for you guys to see these rollouts come out over the next week or two. So with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and stay tuned for the update.